Hey guys, my name is Victoria Tippett. I'm an international psychic medium and transformational coach. So I have a connection to spirit, and I use that connection to spirit to support people by bringing forward their past loved ones, and also by using it to be able to see what people's blocks are, so their current limitations, so the thing that's stopping them moving forward and where that's come from, because we all have things that are stopping us moving forward. And quite often we don't know where it's come from and why it's manifesting in the way it is right now in our lives. Now, if you're interested in learning everything psychic and spiritual, then you want to be joining my Facebook group, The Limitless Spiritual Woman, which is scrolling across the bottom of the screen, and I'll also put the link underneath in the description. Now, if you want to talk more about transformation and how that can work for you, and you want to start learning how you can move forward and grow in your life, I'm going to put the link for my discovery call underneath as well. So feel free to use that if you are ready to take ownership for what's going on for you and work one-to-one on that. Now, what I want to talk about today is what's going on in our lives and how we move forward from it, because we quite often go through phases where we want to learn to grow. So we want to have this next phase of our journey. And quite often this can come forward with, people want to change certain aspects of their life. Most people go for physical change, most people go for haircuts or losing weight or those kind of things where they can kind of have some sort of control over it. Now, when we're looking at moving forward and we're having this growth and we want to make changes in our lives, what's that going to look like? Now, quite often that looks like us shedding away people that no longer resonate with us, so people that no longer serve us. And that doesn't mean that we're releasing people because they don't do things for us anymore. It's about releasing people that no longer resonate with who you are now. And so often people find this really, really difficult task, because as we're moving forward and we're trying to grow, when we're holding on to old relationships, when we're holding on to old friendships, it can really keep us plateaued, it can stagnate us, and we can start feeling really disaligned. So how do we start to move forward? We have to make these big kind of leaps of faith almost. But what stops us taking those great leaps of faith? And there's so many different things that can stop us doing that. One of the main things that I want to talk about is fear, the fear that stops us moving forward, because we have so many things that could happen or may stop us moving forward. And what does that look like? Often it looks like fear. It looks like us not wanting to step out, because what if this is going to be more uncomfortable than what we've got now? When we think about moving away from friendship groups, we think about what we're going to be missing out on. We don't look at what we could be growing, what we can be learning. Now, I saw a picture a little while ago of somebody who was looking down at the floor and they were crying because the bottles of milk that were in front of them were smashed and all this milk was going everywhere. But when they turned round, there was a whole table full of food and wine and milk, and there was absolute plethora of food and drink behind them. But they were crying over these few little bottles of milk. Now, the reason behind that is that, we're concentrating on, keeping this friend who maybe doesn't really resonate with us anymore. We kind of see their name come up on our phone and it's like, our stomach drops a little bit and we're thinking, oh my goodness, what do I really want to meet up with them today? Oh my God, they drain me. I just can't be dealing with it today. If you're spending your time with those kind of people, that drains your energy. And this isn't conducive to you growing and changing and moving into the next phase of your journey. So fear has a massive contribution, not just from moving away from people that don't really spark joy for you anymore, but what does that look like? How is it going to be when you move forward? Because right now you're in a place where you're comfortable, but it's a little bit uncomfortable. And that's where our comfort zone is. We want to move forward, but we're in our comfort zone because we are aware of our surroundings. But when you move from your comfort zone, where you're really quite uncomfortable now, into a new comfort zone, you soon start to get familiar with what the feelings are, what comes up for you. And after that initial OMG, what's going to happen, you start to feel that real oh yeah, this is actually fitting right, this feels really good, this is how this change is created. Now, I really want you guys to just think this week, what is stopping you making this growth? What is stopping you making the changes that you desire in your life? Because Spirit is supporting you and Spirit is guiding you making those transactions and those changes moving forward. So what is your part in this? What are you bringing forward in this? Lots of people say, I can't leave this relationship because of money. I can't leave this relationship because of something else. I can't leave this friendship because of this. And there's so many things that tie us to people that we no longer need in our lives. We no longer feel that connection to. And so this is how we grow forward. We start to remove things and people that no longer resonate with where we're moving forward. And this is super powerful. It's not about cutting people out because they're no longer useful to you or they're no longer doing whatever it is that you want them to do. It's about understanding that as we grow, sometimes certain people are going to grow with you, and that's beautiful and perfect. But sometimes people are not going to grow, and as you're growing, if you are being held back by somebody that's not growing, it can really bring this disconnect, and what it can create is resentment. And it feels like you're stagnating and you can't move forward, and you then start to feel a little bit underwhelmed, a little bit. It can start to cause like depression and just feelings of like, I don't really fit in. So I really urge you today and this week to think about, what is it that's stopping you moving forward? What is it? Is it the fear that's stopping you moving forward? And these are all sorts of things that I go through in some of my groups where we talk about all these things on a much deeper level. But what is it that is stopping you moving forward? Is it the fear, or is it something else that's stopping you moving forward? And is it really a factor? Because your friend was there for you in the past, it doesn't mean that you have to be their doormat right now, because life doesn't work that way. We have to know that people come in our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And this is really, really powerful, because when we are no longer with people that don't vibe with us, we then get to move forward and see this beautiful table that is full of people that do spark joy, that do bring the next level of growth that we are so desperately in need of. So take that as food for thought for this week. It's been amazing being with you. Make sure you to gorgeously subscribe to here and join me over in my Facebook group. Take care.